On July 29th, 2025, a discovery was made in the woods of Tiptonville, Tennessee. This triggered one of the most disturbing homicide investigations the region has ever experienced. That morning, somebody called 911, a relative, spotting two vehicles parked in a remote wooded area. While this phone call led deputies of the Lake County Sheriff's Office to the location and ultimately to the victims, calling it the police over parked cars. That was what this line was described as. The phone call was generally a waste of an emergency line meant for real crisis. This caller must be from Ohio. I am beyond shocked that somebody would be stupid enough to call the cops over seeing some cars parked outside the woods. How pathetic. But this time, there was a coincidence. A stupid phone call caused the discovery of dead bodies. When deputies arrived, they walked into the trees and found the bodies of 4 family members. The Tennessee Medical Examiner's Office in Nashville identified the victims as James Wilson, nicknamed Matthew, Adrianna Williams, Cortney Rose, and Braydon Williams. Hours before the bodies were found, a 7-month-old baby had been discovered abandoned in a car seat in the front yard of a Dyer County home, which was more than 30 miles away. After further investigation, this infant appeared to be the child of Wilson and Williams. Miraculously, this baby survived without any injuries. After a short evaluation at the Dyersburg Hospital, the baby was released to relatives. The investigation by the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, aka the TBI, moved quickly. This was after the Lake County Medical Examiner's Office publicly announced the causes of death. The 4 had been murdered. All 4, 21-year-old James, 20-year-old Adrianna, 38-year-old Cortney, and 15-year-old Braydon, were fatally shot. Within minutes, they bled to death. And these bodies were found covered in tarpaulins, which is basically material used, for example, to create a tent. Therefore, this was suspicious. It was indeed a covered up execution. The medical examiner's office, which works at the West Tennessee Regional Forensic Center in Memphis, identified the 4 through DNA testing as well as medical records. With overwhelming evidence from the cell phone records, witness statements, and tracking operations, one suspect was identified: 28-year-old Austin Drummond, who had personal ties to the family. Drummond fled and was on the run for a week. When investigators reviewed his digital footprint, the cell phone data led them to the 3 alleged accessories: 29-year-old Tanaka Brown, 29-year-old Giovonte Thomas, and 23-year-old Dearrah Sanders. So, at this point, 4 suspects total. Surprisingly, Giovonte was not in the streets. He was already in custody. He had been jailed at the Madison County Jail after failing to appear for an unrelated court case. On August 2nd, 2025, TBI agents went to the Madison County Jail to notify him that he was being charged with accessory, as he was an alleged accomplice of the quadruple homicide. Later that same day, investigators moved on to capture Tanaka Brown. Brown had spent the day outside and was returning home that evening when the TBI confronted him in his driveway and placed him under arrest. 2 days later, on the morning of August 4th, agents approached Dearrah Sanders at her home just as she was leaving for work. She was taken into custody without resistance. The primary suspect, Austin Drummond, was located the next morning. On August 5th, 2025, the TBI, Jackson Police Department, U.S. Marshals, and multiple Sheriff's Office deputies converged on a vacant pool house in Jackson, Tennessee. Several weapons were recovered on the property, but reports say that Drummond was not physically armed at the moment of his arrest. He was placed in handcuffs inside this abandoned home and was driven away by TBI agents. After the arrest, Drummond, Sanders, and Brown were taken to the TBI field office in Jackson for a brief detention and processing. Shortly after the arrest, all four made their initial court appearances before Judge Andrew Cook of the Lake County General Sessions Court. Judge Cook ordered that all four remain in custody pending their next hearings. No bond. Lake County District Attorney Danny Goodman took on a Tennessee state criminal probe and presented it to a grand jury in that court. After reviewing the evidence, that grand jury returned a sweeping set of indictments for Austin Drummond, 4 counts of capital murder, plus aggravated kidnapping, abandonment, and 2 firearms offenses, the rest being felonies. Giovonte Thomas and Dearrah Sanders were indicted on 2 felony accessory offenses. The DA later unsealed indictments and as well included an additional felony for Giovonte Thomas of evidence tampering. Goodman publicly vowed to prosecute all 4 defendants to the fullest extent of the Tennessee law. All 4 were assigned to public defenders based on their financial statuses. The arraignment took place on September 10th, 2025, where each defendant entered a plea of not guilty to all charges. Judge Don Allen set bond for 3 of the 4 defendants. $250,000 for Thomas, $150,000 for Sanders, $25,000 for Brown. Because the state announced it would seek the death penalty, Drummond was denied bond entirely under Tennessee policy. All 4 suspects remained in custody, awaiting hearings and trial. Austin Drummond was booked into the Lake County Jail in Tiptonville, held under maximum security conditions because prosecutors declared their intent to pursue a capital case. Giovonte Thomas, brought in from his unrelated case, remained housed inside the Madison County Jail in Jackson, where he continued appearing before the court while awaiting bond and indictment proceedings. Tanaka Brown, arrested the same day as Thomas, was booked into the Madison County Jail, attending hearings virtually via WebEx from the facility. Dearrah Sanders was first held at the Lake County Jail following her arrest and virtual initial appearance. After her indictment, she remained in county custody pending her bond hearing and scheduled court dates. All 4 remain with pending cases, and multiple hearings are ahead to come. I will let you know what happens later on. Thank you for listening to the Strawberry Ink pending case special. Till next time, take care and have a good rest of your day.